Guys, it's me again, YouTube's N'Golo Kante here with another set of Q&As. That wasn't the best, but yeah, the Q&As are there. Apologies if I've uploaded later than usual for some of you that have been waiting. But yeah, man, I had football, we lost, but I thought I played well. Manager thought I played well. Yeah, and I was tired, man, so I can't lie to you, I had to have a nap. So yeah, let's get into it. First question. Wow, the printer printed woggy. I'm going to have to realign the printer, but oh, apologies, guys. But yeah, let's carry on. Karslan Dorshi. Apologies, guy, man. That was a hard one. If Jose keeps playing this piece of poo footy, should he be sacked? I guess you could make a case, but I wouldn't say because of the football necessarily. No, he definitely has to improve upon sixth. Last year, Europa League did save him. If he was to turn around and win the league, playing this sort of football with what he's been doing since the season started, people wouldn't say anything. And on top of that, context is needed. Yes, Jose still played somewhat negative, but it is more expansive than last year, so he is making an improvement. Yes, the Liverpool draw was boring if you're a United fan. You don't want to set up in big games like that, and it was your real big test. And on one hand, you live to fight another day, and if, like I said in the video, if Jose won, he would have been held as a tactical genius in how he played. But United are used to setting up in certain ways and playing with some sort of heart. But prior to that draw, when was that said? It was all before that. All you heard was Jose's got them playing the other way. I know I think assuming you're a United fan, people were saying that United have got different scorers that they didn't have last year. Lukaku scoring, Martial's firing. Obviously, Pogba's injured now, but at the time, all of these other guys were firing. And like I said, negative football still played a part, but you never heard that prior to this draw against Liverpool. So yeah, man, I hope that answers your question. Oh, you got another one. Thoughts on Pep Guardiola saying the Harry Kane team? Context is needed. Now, I've been debating this in a couple group chats. Context is needed. I've seen Pochettino's comments and Pep's comments, so I need the whole thing and need to know the context. But if it's on the basis of just whole managers trying to rattle other managers and their whole looking back at one was manager of Espanyol and one was Barcelona, of course he knows who Tottenham are, man. Come on, like, don't be silly. Of course, I'm an Arsenal fan. Of course, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna banter my Spurs fans friends all day long with that. Pep doesn't know your team. Of course, doesn't know you are, but of course he knows exactly who they are. It's a bit of rattling, of course. It could be a bit of rattling. It could be a bit of rattling Kane, because if you look at Conte's been previously saying this, so I know he said sorry, but this whole Kane, if I could sign any striker business. Kane is obviously, you've seen what Rose has said in the paper previously about Spurs. Everybody knows Kane is one of the, if not the best player at Spurs in that regard, and he undoubtedly knows how good he is. It could be a bit of rattling and poaching. You have to one day argue if Spurs don't win something. I'm not saying that they won't. Obviously, I hope they don't. But if they don't win stuff, and the United will definitely be interested in Kane regardless of Lukaku. City, on the basis that they want the best players, the same. Yeah, man, Kane might look at his future and consider it. So it could be a bit of anything, or it could be he doesn't know the side. But I don't believe that. I just personally think it was a bit of context got muddled up. He was referring to it in a certain way, but it got taken out of context, and he's actually got back at and mentioned and clarified his comments. That's how I believe it was taken as personally. But if it wasn't, then it's elite rattling. But yeah, next question. Bilal Abdillah. Thoughts on Dini's comments? Do you think it's true / a bit harsh, especially after getting at Bellerin's hair? I mean, the truth hurts. You said it yourself. I mean, it hurts because, I mean, we don't want to hear this about Arsenal. This is a club we love, but it is the truth. Dini doesn't need to tell this. Your nan could tell you this. The person down the waiter down the cafe could tell you this. It's got to the point now. Whether you watch football or give a crap about football, you know what Arsenal's problems are. So Dini is just echoing that. It's refreshing to hear a player so honest. Be nice if it was an Arsenal player. But what more could you say from that? In regards to getting at Bellerin's hair, I mean, it's a cheeky comment, man. That's something I said, to be honest with you. Just, there's nothing in that comment, to be honest. He's got long hair. He said it. Like Dini said, and to be fair, I think I've seen him and Bellerin hang around before on social media. It's just a bit of harmless banter, but in regards to Arsenal, it's true. We're toothless. We know this. So moving on, man. Hope that answers your question. Tariq, amazing. Will the current crop of of talented England under-17s change the FA's way of how they bring through players through the ranks / nurture talent? You could say yes, you could say no. It's more the clubs, to be honest with you, to bring through these players. But on the basis that if you're looking at England, go after the more technical players that within these certain academy setups and not just the most physical and things like that. Keep a crop Like how you see with the Germans and Ozil's age group, they kept a crop throughout the ranks. So it could do, but we've been here before. Like, we've been here in the summer when the same age group won in the Euros. We've been here with the under-20s. We've been here previously with under-17s and under-20 groups. We've been here a lot. We've been here with the under-21s when they won the Toulon tournament. We've been here with they won the Toulon tournament. We've been here with the under-20s that won the Toulon tournament or got to the final. I can't really remember. So we've been here a long time. So you could say, yeah, well, it could, but you could also say it couldn't. The future will tell, and time will tell, and we'll only know in the future. Hopefully that answers your question. Same guy, save for the questions, bro. Why are Arsenal so boring to watch for a neutral? You see what I'm talking about? This myth that we create there is a myth. Because we're stale. Like, I say this in all my vids, bro. Like, we're stale. Like, honest to God, like, stale in all approaches throughout the club, down to the hospitality, off the pitch, on the pitch. You could just go through all of my vids. I spoke about this. We're just stale, bro. Like, it is lifeless. There's not really intent. It's lovely football when they turn it on, and these players are great footballers, but they're not inspired. They lack ideas. They're not street smart. So yeah, I mean, previously it used to be a thing where Arsenal fans, we used to get battered, and we used to get battered about talking how we played the best football. We played better football with players that are not even good enough to sit in a room with the players that we currently have, and they could play football. There was a time when Wenger was brave, where although we were losing and we're still in the banter years, we used to be like, Wenger, why are you bringing on a centre mid and taking off your DM? Why are you bringing on a forward? Do you remember these certain things? Throughout the club, we're just lacking ideas. We're just stale. I mean, this is not a forward-thinking club, man. And because we didn't invest in it somewhat. 3 teams that relied on players too much. Chelsea to a degree, but more Liverpool and Arsenal. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it. Both teams, you could argue, are stale. Like, you're seeing it. The 2 teams that invested and brought some new blood in. United had a ball draw, so it's not the best examples. But you're seeing City. Man, that's it, to be honest. Until we show some lifelessness, that feeds off to the players and that feeds off to the fans. Galvanised every week. Like you're seeing at certain other clubs, but not here. Because we're not confident. Watford, no disrespect to Watford. How can we? What Arsenal fan was screaming that? Like, we're at the point, like, we're not... Of course, it's always going to hurt, and every knife is going to cut deeper, but... It is what it is now. Like, it is what it is. We can't fight the battle, and there's just one... devil that controls this club that's never gonna go, so it's gonna get worse, guys, man. Anyways, bit depressing there. Next, Mobe Gino. Who is hated more, Wenger or Trump? It's a bit of banter, clearly. Of course, clearly Trump is hated more, but Wenger might run him close based on all the Wenger outsigns you see in the publicity stunts. Wenger should use that as some marketing and get some peace from that, to be honest with you. Obviously, Trump. Next question. I think you have a second one, more important one. Time to pair Lacazette with Giroud. We are just flat. Based on how Giroud played when he came on against Watford, a lot of people, I'd rather pair some academy players before Giroud, to be honest. But you could argue that personally, I'm looking for, based on, you saw Alexis in central positions last year, how much better he looked. Like, he's developed more of a killer instinct since he's been here. That's a fact, backed up by how much goals he scored. A couple seasons at other club, he hadn't hit double figures. I would like to see a Lacazette and Alexis up front, similar to how City do their thing with their strikers. But with Arsenal, it ain't gonna happen. Benef, I hope I said your name correctly. Forgive me. Who do you think should be released from Arsenal? The players brackets. If you mean the players I think are not good enough throughout the first team, there's a case for El Nene. I believe El Nene should only play 10 games out of 38 if him alone, maybe even all comps. Monreal's playing well at the moment compared to most, but I believe a team that should be trying to win the league shouldn't be playing him at centre half. Squad player at most. I believe Giroud, as much as I like Giroud, you could sell him as well and bring in proper guys. Coquelin, he's my guy, but not good enough as well. Defence collectively, we can make a case for all the defenders apart from Koscielny and my guy Holding to just go. Yeah, man, real lack of quality throughout the whole side, but I saw it go sometime, man. Anyways, hope I've answered your question. You've got another one. Do you think we can still attract world-class talent? I believe yes. Yes, you can, because we've shown it with Ozil and Alexis upon a time, and arguably we weren't this bad. But the problem is, it's not just Arsenal. It's not just Arsenal. For instance, it's not the big 4 anymore in England. It's the big 6 now. It's not just Arsenal. If we want to sign a player, so do the big boys in Manchester. So do these other clubs abroad, and so do the other group that make up the top 6. So we need to convince. Added to that, You need to show a real mentality that you want to win trophies. City are historically not a big club, but on a basis, and them and PSG, but on the basis that the intent, the players they're trying to sign, the philosophies and all of that, you could argue they are. They're inspiring people. So if you're a world-class player and you're looking at the City and City and PSG, for example, they might not be historically the biggest club, but of where they're going, you're enticed by that. Arsenal, we've never been the biggest historic club. We've done our 1-2 pokings and won our couple stuff, but we've never been a historic club. So what we need to sell is that we're going to the next level, which we haven't done. Perfect model for players, for instance. We've come to the Emirates, we play nice football, we got this, we got that, but we sell players short. As much as Wenger needs to step down, he still remains somewhat a pull for players, man. But it's a madness, man. It's down to convincing players. And if I'm honest, if I look at all the Prem clubs, I'm not signing for Arsenal first. I'm signing for Arsenal my third, fourth choice. I'm looking at City first. City be my first choice. Then I'm looking at United based on the Jose factor. Then, based on the fact that they're the previous champions, I'm looking at Chelsea. And then it's a toss-up between Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal. Really and truly, if I'm a world-class player, I'll be if I'm giving you guys the realness, and I'm an Arsenal fan, I won't want to sign for these clubs at the moment. You could argue Poch is there doing their thing, Liverpool, Klopp, Arsenal, Wenger, and all of this prior to last year, blah, blah, blah. But these are not serious clubs in the aspect of that, guy. So, yeah, man. And on top of that, you need to be aggressive for these sort of players, man. Pay the money, whether it's overpaying slightly or whatever. But we're not on that. So I hope that answers your question. And change the winning culture. And ultimately just win trophies. You win trophies, world-class players want to come to sign for you. It's that simple. Lack a new signing. Would you rather we switch back to 4-2-3-1? At least we played good football. Yes, bro. We need to stop forcing four at the back. When we were chasing the game against Watford, perfect opportunity to go four at the back. I believe at a time when it was Koscielny who came off. Could have ran. I know it's not the best of pairings, but there was BFG and Monreal. You could have ran that because Lesniak on the left, Bellerin on the right. Wilshere comes on and we try and chase the game. Simple things, man. Wenger said we would play four at the back in times. Can't understand why it's not there. And lastly, Reese_Nelson61. Do you think Jack Wilshere will ever start a game in the Premier League? Bro, your guess is as good as mine. Wenger keeps saying how he's the fittest he's ever been, blah, blah, blah. I get urge and caution, but there comes a time you just need to let the man play, to be honest. Your guess is as good as mine. I'd like to say yes, but it's Arsenal, we never know. Guys, the Ludicuna, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Apologies for the late uploads.